Hey, plumbing pros, welcome to Potty Talk episode number 479, where we're taking it into the trenches, crawl spaces, basements, kitchens, and baths, all around this big, beautiful world of ours, talking the business of plumbing, how to have a thriving, self-sustaining, and very profitable plumbing business while having a life too. And in today's episode is all about one of the biggest lies in the industry. There's just not enough good plumbers out there. We're going to flip that myth on its head and show you how to attract the best guys in town, lead them right, and never get stuck in hiring hell again. All right, sweetheart, we're busting another myth. All right, this is our second in the series of myth busting.
Myth busting series.
Myth busting series. Say that 3 times fast. Myth busting.
I cannot.
All right.
Yes.
All
We're
right.
busting myths. We busted a myth last episode, and this one is all about.
All right. There just aren't any good plumbers out there. I've been hearing that for over 40 years.
Yeah.
Over 40 years, there's never been enough plumbers.
Since you were
Not even, right, exactly. All right. And it's certainly in our business. I mean, it's just like, it's never been. So it's not unique to this time.
No.
Quite frankly, it's an excuse. Okay. But we're going to cover what you can do do it. Okay.
Yes.
I got three gold nuggets here we're going to lay down here.
Always have 3
on what you can do. Okay. All right. To button, to find good plumbers.
Okay.
Okay.
Bust that myth.
To bust that myth. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. You ready? Let's hit the first. All right. Gold nugget number 1, attract the right plumbers. Too many owners out there trying to find plumbers like they're looking for buried treasure. All right. You don't find great plumbers. You attract them by becoming the kind of business they want to work for. Okay. First point, security sells. The best plumbers aren't job hopping. All right. They're looking for stability, clarity, in a place where they can grow. If your business is disorganized or chaotic or looks like it's barely scraping by, the pros won't touch it. Make your business look like a safe, long-term home for a pro, not just a paycheck. Okay. And that's key right there. What is it we always say, when we talk, with our clients, because everyone deals with this problem. The first thing you got to ask yourself, and this can be a tough thing to ask yourself. Okay. Why would anyone want to work for you? Okay. You got to ask yourself that. Why, and we're talking about, the right plumbers that the right plumbers that you want to attract are working plumbers.
Yes.
Okay, these are guys in other shops. You don't want the guy who hasn't been working. Okay, you're just not looking for a warm body.
Right.
Okay, you want to attract the other guys in the other shops. So you got to. Why would anyone guy want to leave that shop and come work for you?
And hopefully you're answering the question well, because I've got great trucks, new trucks with a great brand, with great equipment, really good benefits. I don't make my plumbers work nights, weekends, or on call. That's the reason someone's going to come and work for you.
Right.
Or leave one shop for the next.
Well, that leads right into my second point here. Okay, you got to offer a better opportunity. So stop selling the flexible hours and the competitive pay thing. All right, sell the vision, a mission. All right, a crew worth joining. Show them what life looks like working for you. Okay, career growth, respect, team culture. Those are what make plumbers switch jobs.
Yes.
Okay, and so that leads right in there. The key thing there is being different. You got to provide something different, and you hit on right to it. The big thing is like not working nights, weekends,
And on call.
on call.
Yes. And you don't have to. You don't have to work nights, weekends, and on call. Just because you're a plumbing company does not mean you have to work nights, weekends, and on call. You don't have to. And that's the culture that you can set up, that you're not having your plumbers do that, so that you're going to probably attract more family guys, which is what you want, because they're typically a little bit more stable. Offering that type of benefit, no nights, no weekends, and no on call, that's attractive. That's attractive in the plumbing world.
Right, but we see it so many times. It's just like we think, we meet the guy in the job site in our truck. Hey, you want to come work for us? We got work. I'll pay you and what? That's
We're
nothing.
all in this together.
Right. That's not right. There's nothing there. Okay. You gotta, again, the guys are looking for security. Ultimately, that's what they're looking for, security. And then, to attract them to your security. You got to be different. You got to provide. You can't be just saying we do great pay. Whatever. We got great pay and we do plumbing.
Right.
Oh,
no,
okay.
No.
Right.
And also, and we talk about this a lot in the academy, and a lot of people come to the Success Academy, and they're kind of starting out, or they've realized they don't know something, about their business, the business of plumbing, and that's how they come to us. But one of the biggest, toughest investment is branding, is to create a brand for your business. And that's what's attractive to other plumbers. Because, guys, take a look around at all the different plumbing companies in your area. There's probably lots of them. Start really paying attention to the brands. The ones that have a clean, professional looking brand, and not just because the truck is pretty and it says Joe's Plumbing, but a real brand that almost looks like it's franchised, or looks like it could be a national company. Yes, honey.
Which equates to
security.
Right.
100%. So, and then, think about it. Do you want to go play baseball for, Joe Dirt Baseball Company, right? Where your uniforms are all crappy and the equipment's all crappy, or go play for, I don't know, what's a great plumbing or a great baseball company?
The Yankees.
Yeah, Yankees, and they've got the pinstripes. I don't know. They still do that. Anyway, that has the great equipment and all that. Which one is going to be more attractive to a potential baseball player, but plumber? Which is going to be more attractive? Of course, it's going to be to the one that has the nicer truck. It doesn't look like, the trucks that they're driving, or that they would drive, that they're held together by a rubber band and, a paper clip, right? And you may say, well, this truck is, how 200,000 miles, and I've had it forever, and I change the oil on it. Okay, well,
who gives
great. Yeah, who gives a crap? Is that going to attract the quality player that you want for your plumbing business? It's not. When there's so much other competition in your area.
I like you've been hitting on the vans. And what do we call the vans, the trucks?
Dude magnets.
They're dude magnets.
Dude magnets. I don't get it because I'm not a dude. But
the guys will come work for you just to get in your truck. In fact, that's what we say, on your website. All right, you should have I'm going to talk about that, we're always hiring kind of a thing, but having on your website a picture of your truck in the hiring area.
Yes.
Take this truck home.
Yep. This truck is.
And hopefully your truck is a new looking truck with nice brand. It all matters.
Correct. Don't put a picture of your crappy truck. That's not going to do anything.
And it's not about being your size. You'll get first of all, you want the best guys. You want the best guys out there. Okay. And the best guys out there are working in a larger shop. So you want you're not going to get the 1 and 2 guy in the big shops, because shops you'll do the same thing. You kind of feed these guys, all right. But the 3rd, 4th, and 5th guy, that's what you want, because they know I'm not getting and they'll come even if it's just still you in a truck, if it feels secure and you look like you're a professional plumbing business.
Yes.
Okay, and that's key. Not just you meeting them at the job site and you got your truck's trash. It just looks like a plumbing. Okay, you're not right.
Come on, guys.
Okay, all right. They're out. There's plenty of plumbers out there. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make that this isn't your basic chuck in a truck. Okay, professional plumbers want to work for professional companies. That means wrap trucks, okay, branded gear, real systems, and real leadership, okay? You want a pro? You got to show up like a pro, and that's what we're talking about here, okay? We attract what we are, okay? If you look like a butt crack plumber, you're going to attract butt crack plumbers.
100%.
I mean,
100%.
Well, I'm working here. You're putting me down. No. Yeah, well,
if you can't find good quality plumbers, that might be the reason. That might, again, go back to why would anyone want to work for you? Why would anyone want to come and work for your plumbing company? You got to ask that question. And you seriously have to ask that question. And you need to take a look around again at all the other plumbing companies in your area. Right. And you can say, and we hear this all the time, wow, I don't want to charge what those big company charges, and they're ripping.
I don't want to be like those big companies.
Right. Yeah, they're ripping people off and whatever. Oh yeah, those same big companies what, babe?
Right. But they have all the nice trucks and all the equipment and all the great paying customers and the quality plumbers. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Those guys.
Right.
The ones that are able to get new equipment, and if something breaks down, a drain machine or a camera or whatever, that they're not again putting it together with super glue and
bubble gum, right, duct tape, okay, right. Okay.
Anyway, I could go on and on about that, but yeah, show up like a pro. You have to show up like a pro if you want to attract a pro. If you want to attract butt crack plumbers.
And that's why we're hard in this. And I have no problem being hard on the guys, because I'm a plumber. I've been in the plumbing for over 40 years. Okay, I come from the trenches. I'm a redneck.
Baby, I remember when we moved back we lived in Nashville for a while. We moved back to Indianapolis, and you got the job at Hessian Plumbing was the name of the plumbing company, and it was on a construction crew, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you would come home and tell me some of the things that these guys would do on the job site, and I'm like, how is that even possible? But that was the culture that was being created, right? They were allowed to behave like butt crack plumbers.
Right.
So anyway.
Exactly. I mean, and if that's what you are, and so I'm just calling, ultimately what we're about here, Potty talks about, and what ultimately what $1 Million Plumbers, all that, is just want to call you up, for the guys. If it just, I'm here for the one or two guys that you guys that get it. I see the comments, the plumbers, and I'm a plumber, and it just, move on down the road. I don't even hear you because you're just a butt crack plumber talking like that. Okay, but if it's in you where you're wondering, man, why can't I find guys? Well, I'm telling you right here, and this is one of the things here. Yes. You got to look like a pro. You got to look like the pro, the guys that you want. Okay,
and even if branding is, I'm going back to the branding thing. Even if it is what you would consider expensive, I'm quote unquote, it doesn't matter. That's an investment. Right. It's an investment into your business, but it's an investment in how you're going to attract Mrs. Jones.
Right.
But then also plumbers. Think about, you spend, one of our sponsors is Kongify, which is a great branding company. And it's like $6,000-$7,000 for a brand new personalized brand.
Makes you stand out in the marketplace.
Makes you totally stand out in the marketplace.
And stand out with the plumber that has the guys at the supply house looking at your trucks.
Right. And you may be thinking, oh man, $6,000 or $7,000, that's a lot of money. What's a new plumber? What's finding a plumber, holding on to a plumber? Right. Customers, what does that cost?
Well, what does a plumber make you?
What does a plumber make you? Exactly.
Right. A good plumber, not a butt crack, warm body plumber.
A good one is going to make you that in a week plus.
Oh.
Right? I mean, we're $10,000 weeks. That should be
easy.
What good plumbers should be making you.
Right.
Yeah. So, guys, you got to think differently. Again, this is why we talk about all the time. You got to get out of the plumber mindset and into the CEO mindset. You got to think like a businessman.
Well, so sit on this. It leads me to my next golden nugget here. Yes. Okay. All right. And it's this. Then let them plumb, okay? Hiring great plumbers and then micromanaging them to death, okay? That's a fast way to lose them, all right? If you want to scale, you got to let go, which brings me to my first point. Nobody's as good as me. I hear it all the time. That attitude is killing your growth. That mindset, it's poison. It's not true. And even if it were, you never run anything that runs without you unless you stop babysitting every call and every fitting, all right? Get over yourself and trust your people, trust your guys, okay? Cut the no one's as good as me crap. Okay. All right. Yes, you want to. No one is going to be as good as you. No one. There's a reason why you started your plumbing business. Okay. Probably. They're never going to be as good as you. And I hope you have that attitude. That's why you started your business. To this day, no one's as good as me. I guarantee you're not as good as I am. And I haven't turned a wrench for ever.
Let's think about the last time we sold our business.
Right.
7 years ago, you stopped turning the wrench.
Right. Yeah. Yes. So you need to have that attitude. What you want is you hire guys and you hope they're 80% as good as you. But I much rather have two guys that are 80% of me than 100. Than 100% of me. You get more out of that. Right, you get 100% of you, okay?
Right.
All right, you're working in the business, okay, instead of on the business. I must have two guys that are 80% of me. That's 160%,
Okay, you're doing the math.
All right, okay.
But that's true.
Carry the one, okay.
That's true. No, guys, again, nobody's going to be as good as you, and it doesn't matter. And stop with my customers only want me. My customers only want me. Right. Okay, then but play that out. Play that out. What does that end up looking like a year from now, 2 years, 5, 10, 15 years from now? You're the only one that can do it. Well, then you've created a job for yourself.
That's just you being a wimpy ass. We're taking it straight on this. We're talking straight on this body talk.
Because we're busting the myths.
Right. Because part of it is allowing it to continue. Like as we're recording this, we got Antifa up in Portland, all right, killing and burning everything down. Well, it would stop like that if the citizen would just stand up and stop it. Dang. Same thing with these myths. All right, you stop doing these stupid things.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there's plenty of plumbers out there. There's plenty of plumbers out there. Okay, but we mess it up, and one way we mess it up is no one as good as I am,
Nobody's
and
as good as
my
me.
customers only want me. That's all. That's keeping you enslaved.
Yes.
You haven't created a business; you just created a cage.
Right.
At best, a job for yourself.
Yes,
at
best.
At
and
best.
then again, what's going to happen when you're 55,
Right.
60? Then what? Again, that's what I said earlier. Play this out, right? Play it out. So if you you've got to put that mindset away. If nobody's going to be as good as you, of course, nobody's going to be as good as you. However,
right, and so you think, well, they're going to screw things up. Well, that brings me to the next point. Okay, you want to systemize you. All right, instead of being everywhere at once, build systems that turn you into a process. Okay, training, checklists, price books, scripts. All right, take what's in your head and duplicate it. Okay, that's leadership. Okay, and that's what we're talking about here. You got to become the leader. Not just one of the pack dogs.
Right.
Okay, you got to be the guy going, mush, mush with the whip, not one of the dogs, out there, mushing.
Well, part of your thing was let them plumb. Also, let them. You want to make sure that you're allowing them to do the job that you've hired them to do. And I know you're going to talk about that. Right? That's probably another point that's coming up. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's all, again, we're kind of back to it's allowing them to, even if it's just 80% of you, okay? And, you're going to systemize you, all right, in the way you do it. And it's not necessarily just about actually how to do the exact job.
No.
If part of your job is, I like right angles, and when we run pipe, then you make that part of we're going to run right angles. If you don't have to, you're not micromanaging everything they do. It's just systemize the way you look at the job, way you come at the job, way you take care of the customer.
That's
all those you're going to systemize you doing that.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to multiply you.
Yes.
That's how you're able to scale and grow. That's how you create money. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So that's what you need to do as far as systemizing it, creating the process so that when you hire someone, you're going to go through, here's how I want you to take care of the customers, my customers. Here's how I want you to take care of them. And whatever it is, wearing shoe covers, making sure that you pick up the newspaper in the driveway. If it's in the driveway, bring the trash cans up, whatever it might be. All that needs to be systemized. Don't think that they're going to do it naturally. They will not.
They won't.
They will not. So if that's what you want for your plumbing company, then that's the systems that you need to create. And here's the thing. I know some of that may seem like, well, gosh, that's an awful lot to expect these guys to do. If you set your company up that it's a professional brand, you've got a professional brand, a professional truck, good equipment,
professional service,
great uniforms, all the things that calls these guys up so that when you say to them, I want you to make sure you bring the trash cans up if they're in the driveway. I want to make sure that you always wear shoe covers, et cetera, that they accept that then, because everything else doesn't look like butt crack plumber.
Right.
Everything else looks branded and professional. So I need to now behave like a professional tradesman, like I am.
And again, even if they just do 80% of what you do, of 80% of that, okay, that's better than you doing 100% of it.
Yes.
Okay, you much rather have 5 guys doing 80% of you than you out there doing 100%. Okay,
Till midnight every night.
exactly
You're
right.
60 years old.
The bottom line is, okay, great plumbers don't want a babysitter. Okay, they want ownership. Okay, they want clarity. They want to be treated like professionals. Micromanagement makes them bounce. Okay, empowerment makes them stick, and that's what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Okay, and really, we talked to the guys are looking for security. Okay. But they're just looking they want responsibility. The best guys do want to feel responsible, okay?
The best guys.
The best guys, okay? The other guys that won't take on the responsibility, you move those guys on. Hey, Potty Talk pros. Looking for a reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, electrical products, and more online? Look no further than SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is your go-to site for all your supply needs. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands. Plus, with fast shipping from coast to coast, your order will be delivered right to your door. Need help with an order? No problem. Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business. Talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. As a Trade Master, you get access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at SupplyHouse.com/TM. So, what are you waiting for? Order plumbing, HVAC, electrical supplies, and more from anywhere with just a few clicks at SupplyHouse.com. Real people, real service. That's SupplyHouse.com. You're going to move those guys on. Well, I need the guys, okay? Which brings me to my gold nugget number 3, and this is the biggie. All right, this is the biggie, okay? Always be recruiting. I happen to wear the shirt, sweetheart, okay? Most guys only look for help when they're desperate. All right, but if you're only hiring when you're hurting, okay, you're already behind, okay? It's a culture that you want to build, okay, not a campaign. The best companies don't just recruit, they also attract, okay? They build a culture that techs want to be a part of. If your shop feels like a team on a mission instead of a dumpster fire, okay, the right plumbers come looking for you. They do, period. Okay?
Dumpster fire.
Right. I like that.
I got it.
Okay, I got that term in. I was always looking for a way to get that term
Dumpster
in.
fire.
I like that.
Okay,
Dumpster fire, okay? Which sadly, this is what a lot of plumbing businesses are, okay? I mean, on this episode, we're bringing it, okay? All right, most plumbing businesses out there are dumpster fire, okay? Period, okay? Because it just comes down to, it ain't about plumbing, okay? You've heard me say that? And if not, if your first time seeing us, okay, and this rough as we're bringing it, right, okay? The phrase, it ain't about plumbing, and especially also with your plumbers. Yes, they're doing plumbing, but what they're looking for ain't about plumbing, okay? They really are looking for,
culture,
right?
Security, professionalism. That the right guys. That is what they're looking for. And as you mentioned earlier, not babysitting.
Right.
The good ones don't want to be babysat.
Yeah,
babysitted. They don't want to, and you don't want to either. Man, if you are having your guys call you to get prices on every job or how to offer options or whatever it might be. If your phone is ringing constantly and it's your plumbers, you have done something wrong.
Well, you've created that.
Exactly.
And part of it's ego. It's like, well, I'm the man. It makes a lot of times you see these guys are just stroking your ego. I'm needed. I'm needed. I'm needed. Well, you're needing yourself right into the poorhouse, okay?
Or into or in the divorce house. Because what's going to happen when you finally take a vacation with your wife and kids?
You're not.
What's going to happen? You're on the phone constantly.
I bet when you're at your kids' games.
On the phone.
You're on the phone dealing. And it's not wheeling and dealing. That's not what the big guys do. No. Okay? You're not wheeling and dealing. No, you're being someone's little...
You're setting your company up for failure. And if you ever did want to happen to sell your plumbing business, it ain't going to sell because the plumbing business relies on you. And that is the very first thing. That is the very first thing that these different companies that are looking to buy or other companies that are looking to invest in other plumbing businesses, that's what they're looking for first. Does the business run without the owner?
Yes.
Very first question.
Just spoke with a broker because part of what we do here with Success Academy, $1 Million Plumbers, we bring you in, we teach you business, and we get you sold. Okay.
If you want to sell,
if you want to sell, or you just milk the cow, and you're making money. Okay. All right, the golden goose. All right, but that is the number one. That's the first thing. That's the first thing they're looking for. Is the owner needed?
Yep.
Is the owner involved?
Yep.
That's the first thing. Even before the money.
Yep.
Even for how's the money working? All right. Is the owner involved? Is the owner involved? It's not a machine. You just got a job with your name on it.
You got a job with a bunch of other employees.
There's nothing to buy. There's no machine to buy. Nope. There's no system to buy.
Nope.
Right, and they're not buying. It's not your customer list, okay, which is
no such thing as such thing as
I got a customer
valuable customer list.
No. That's okay.
That's gone.
All right, it's but whether you're involved. Okay, so you got to pull your ego. One way to put it. One time I had a guy put it to me when I was working on something. He asked me this question: Do you want to be rich or right?
Ooh, I love that. You want to be rich or do you want to be right?
I chose rich. I'm glad I chose rich. I put my ego aside and said, I'll take rich. All right?
Because I make sure you're right in our marriage.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you do.
All the time.
All the time. I am, yeah.
Most of the time.
Let's move on. Okay, my next point here, which is this. Recruit. Always be hiring. Don't wait until you're buried or a guy quits to start interviewing, okay? Always keep your eyes open. Always be networking. Always be recruiting, whether you have an open spot or not. The best plumbers usually aren't on job boards, okay? They're already working and watching, okay? And that's what you're doing. So yes, it's recruit, recruit, recruit. That's one thing we work, with our clients all the time. It's you have 2 assets with your plumbing business. 2 assets. You have your customers, okay? Got your customers, which we all get. We get. I need to advertise. I got to find whatever. Okay, we get that.
They pay the bills.
The other asset are your plumbers. Okay, but we don't forget about them. Okay,
as an asset, they forget.
As an asset, that's who makes you the money. Okay, the customers are giving you the money. The plumbers make the money. Okay, and so you always need plumbers. Sadly, we wait until guy quits or just like, well, now I'm busy or whatever. All that. No,
we just had. I'm sorry, we just had one of our clients tell us that they turned off their ads that are out on Applicant Pro, now called iSolved. But they had turned them off because they'd been kind of slow. And were just didn't think, okay, well, it's slow, and so I want to cut expenses a little bit. And I've got a couple guys sitting around, and we almost lost our minds on them. We're like, no, never. Until the day you die or the day you sell your business, you will always be recruiting. Always. If someone calls into your shop and they ask the question, are you hiring?
And you've been slow for a month?
And you've got 10 guys sitting out of the tech room that they haven't worked for a month. The answer is yes, absolutely. We are always hiring, because what's going to happen? You want to do the story? What's going to happen?
You're going to come in on Monday morning and you're going to have, 2 trucks in the parking lot. It's like, oh, someone's here early. There ain't nobody inside, but you check the trucks and they got all their uniforms inside. Okay.
And a broken tablet.
Okay.
Smashed.
Right. And then Joe says at hey, Richard, can we talk? Okay. So he's decided that he wants to become a bass, professional bass fisherman. All right. At the age of 40. and then you got Max, you don't know, he just disappeared.
Yeah,
he's gone.
With your truck.
Right. But just on Friday, I got the best crew. These guys, we're going all the way together. Well, they'll never leave. It happens. We've seen it hundreds of times.
Guys, trust us on this one. Trust us on this one.
Right.
It will happen. So never stop recruiting, because you never know. You also probably have, if you've got, a team of, a handful, you've probably got a low man on the totem pole.
Right.
You probably got some guy that you're like sort of putting up with, and he's all right, blah, 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 whatever. Well, you never know. Someone may be calling in or filling an application online, and they could replace that low totem pole guy.
You got a number 2 guy in one of the big shops in town that you've attracted. You have a low guy. I guarantee you. You always have a low guy. And you're not looking, this isn't loyalty. Okay? Football. Pick your sport or whatever. They don't have the same team for years. And even from year to year, they won't have the same team. They're always looking to be better. Teams are always, okay?
Yes.
And by the way, is the other players, when the player leaves your team, where do they go? To another team. All right? And those teams are friends.
The team owners.
Team owners are friends. Well, I'm not going to steal. How many times have you heard? Okay, I'm not going to steal. I mean, we can go on about this. All these.
Yeah, I don't want to steal from other plumbing shops. I don't want to steal from them. That's the. Have I said dumb yet in this episode? That's the stupidest thing. That is so stupid.
That's hack plumbing.
That is hack plumbing. If you've got a better opportunity, better equipment, better truck, better brand, better culture, all the things, whatever it is, and your competition doesn't have what you have, why in the world would you not open that up, open to what you have to offer to other plumbers in your area? And then, you know what? They can decide. Let them decide if they want to stay working for the company that's got the crappy equipment and the boss that's a jerk or whatever it might be, as opposed to coming and working for your plumbing company that's up and coming with new brand, new trucks, new excitement, all of that. Stop with the I'm not going to steal from my competition.
That just have stupid on your forehead.
Guys, okay, knock it off. This is professional. I sort of just makes me.
This episode, we're bringing it.
We are. I just want, because the plumbing industry is such a great industry. The plumbers protect the health of the nation, right? It's true. Being a plumber is a great career. Having a plumbing company, like you say all the time, you're sitting on a gold mine. There's so many great things about the plumbing industry, and I want the ones that are out there, making us look like butt crack plumbers and hacks just to go away, and for the other ones to rise up and become the professional companies, not only for the customers that they're serving, but also for the plumbers that work for them. And then in turn, you're going to have a business that is profitable for you and your family. Right. Guys, it really is that simple.
So always be recruiting.
Always be recruiting.
Okay, and
recruit.
Yes. Final note about always be recruiting. The visibility wins. Okay, if plumbers don't know who you are, all right, they're not going to apply. That means being active online in supply houses and in your community. Okay, brand yourself as the company where great plumbers go to win.
Yes.
Okay, that's what. Okay, that's you want to make it look like it's the place to want to be.
Yep.
And just an easy advertising. How many times when you go to the supply house, don't you check out the other trucks or whatever, especially if the truck looks nice.
Of course.
All right, you're always checking out the other trucks and vans. Okay,
you ain't checking out the ones that are crap.
Right. So, but on your van, on the back door, you should have always hiring great guys. It's an easy way to
a little QR code.
Right. And send them to your site. Yep. By the way, even though I want to come back to that point of, when you said like you use a service, like Applicant Pro and those kind of iSolve now. Yeah, and so big. We've been with us for years. We was recommending them for years, and they do a great job. But so even if it costs you, and it doesn't cost you this much, but think about this: even if you spend $1,000 a month in looking for good guys, okay, and for a whole year. You didn't get any good guys. No guys were moving. Or
that's
$12,000.
$12,000.
That was a waste of money. But on December 31st, a guy comes and you hire the guy. Okay, how much? And a good guy from another shop. How much does that guy make you? He'll make you that much in a week. $12,000. I spent $12,000 to not invest, to invest in your asset, your second biggest asset, your guys.
And I guarantee you that if you spend $1,000, which isn't that much, but if you spend $1,000 every month recruiting for plumbers, you're going to get more than just one guy out of that recruiting.
Right.
And so that's what you got, like we said earlier, you've got to take the plumber mindset and put it aside and put it on the business owner, and that's how you're investing in your business by actively recruiting for good plumbers.
Right. Yeah, you're not finding good guys because you're thinking like a plumber. Okay, and you got to stop thinking like a plumber and start thinking like a business CEO.
Which is what you are.
Okay, so we're about out of time here. Let's recap here. Okay, quickly recap what we've covered here in this episode. We were wild. All right, all right. Gold nugget number 1: attract the right plumbers. Okay, all right. You don't find pros by luck. All right, you attract them by leading like a pro. Offer security, clarity, a reason to come work for you, okay? And gold nugget number 2, all right? Let them plumb, all right? Get out of your own way. Stop micromanaging. Start building systems to let your techs win without you in the truck, okay? And then finally, gold nugget number 3, always be recruiting, okay? Hiring is a way of life, not a panic button, all right? Build a brand and a culture that pulls great guys in 24/7, all right? Okay. That's it, okay? And if one takeaway from this, if you would, recruit.
Yes.
Okay. I by accident, I think this was meant to be.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize. Okay. I got.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Recruit. Okay. It's meant to be. All right.
Get this in your head.
That's right. And hey, if you're ready to fast track your freedom, all right, and learn more about recruit, okay? If you're done guessing, all right, done grinding and ready to build a real plumbing business that gives you both profit and peace, book a free strategy call with one of my team, all right? We'll get you pointed in the right direction, all right, so that you can build a plumbing business that serves you, but not the other way around. Simply click the link in the show notes or go to milliondollarplumber.com/call to schedule your free strategy call, all right? Okay. And that's it. I think we brought it in this one,
We did.
Okay?
We did it.
But until next time, you were purposely and wonderfully created, and you were created to do great things. So plumb like a champion.
Bye, everybody.